When I was in New Zealand a few years ago, I was consulting with a lady and she brought a little son who was 7. And I noticed that his finger was twice the size. So I said, what's happening with the finger? And it was all red with like a yellow top, like a volcano. And they said, we've been to the doctor and it's cellulitis. And I said, well, yeah, we can see that. You know what cellulitis is? Inflammation of the cell. Yes, that's what we've got. But I said, what have you been doing? And she said, well, he's on his 2nd course of antibiotics. He's been on antibiotics for 10 days. This little 7-year-old boy was taking painkillers and sleeping tablets to help him sleep. And I said, yes, but something must have happened. She said, well, he had a blister and he was playing in the dirt with his Matchbox cars and the blister broke. Well, we know what happened now. His front line of defence is gone, which is his skin, and the dirt gets in there. And what happens now is there's a whole line of defence that rushes to that area to protect the body from any harmful pathogens that we actually don't want in the blood. And what happens is the white blood cells come, and then the lymphatic system has more fluid there, and that's the swelling, and that constrict the blood vessels to try and stop anything dangerous going to the body. It's quite an amazing process. I said to her, can I try something? She said, please. So what I did, I got 2 cups, and in 1 cup I put hot water. You see, when you put any part of the body into hot, you've got immediately stimulation. And we know when we have a hot shower, the body tingles, doesn't it? Especially if you're a little bit cold. There's an initial stimulation. But it's not long after the stimulation stage where there's a slowing down. That's when it's lovely and relaxing. Is that right? There's an initial stimulation and then a relaxing. But with the hot, it takes 3 minutes to get from stimulation to slowing down. That's the hot water. So I had a cup with hot water. And then I had another cup with cold. And the reason I've got the cold is you've got something else happening there. When you put the finger into the cold water, it stimulates. And that's the reaction. See, we're warm-blooded creatures. So whenever cold water touches, we all know there's a, isn't there? There's a reaction. And that's what it is. It's a reaction. And it only takes 30 seconds to get from stimulation stage to the slowing down stage. And that's why so many died when the Titanic went down. They were in this freezing cold water and their whole body just slowed down and stopped. It's hypothermia. And because the body knows that, there's a reaction as soon as the cold water touches. So what we're doing here is we're trying to catch the stimulation stage of hot and the stimulation of cold. And what we're stimulating is blood. So I put this little I got him to put his good finger into the hot cup. And he smiled. That was good. So I said, now put your sore finger in. Ooh. So what I did was I put a little bit more cold in it until he was happy with that. Because I knew that after he'd been in the cold, he could handle it a little bit hotter. So you've got to work with the person. After 3 minutes in the hot, we went to the cold. How long in the cold? 30 seconds. While his finger is in the cold, I put a little bit of boiling water into the hot to bring it up. He's watching me, so I said, put your good finger in. I said, your sore finger will handle it better now. It's been in the cold. And he put it in after 30 seconds, and his finger was a lot happier with that. After 3 minutes, you see what we're doing is we're catching the stimulation before the slowing down happens. Because what we're stimulating is more oxygen, more nutrition, more water, more ability to carry away waste, and more white blood cells. See, what happens in an injury, the blood tends to sit or pool in that area, and you want to move it. You want to move the old out, and you want to move the fresh in. But something else is happening when we're doing the hot and colds, even to the finger. The bone marrow is being stimulated to make more white blood cells. So 3 times we did this. And by the time his finger was going into the 3rd cold, a big smile came to that little boy's face. Why is he smiling? He's got relief. How long did that take? 10, 11 minutes? How quick does it take Tylenol to work? Half an hour? 40 minutes? Painkiller? This is quicker than the painkiller. This is quicker, this is more effective, and there's no damage of the kidneys, there's no damage on the liver like there is with the drugs. It's powerful. It's a very powerful treatment. And it's been used for centuries in the area of pain relief. And in the area of pain relief, it's almost without equal. It's so quick. So this little boy had a big smile on his face. He's been suffering for 10 days. And after a very simple treatment of 2 cups, using hot and cold water, this little boy got relief.